Hello and welcome to Morehouse's Math Menagerie. Today we're going to be doing a free response question on least squares regression lines. A student measured the heights and arm spans, rounded to the nearest inch, of each person in a random sample of 12 seniors at a high school. A scatter plot of arm span versus height for the 12 seniors is shown. Based on the scatter plot, describe the relationship between arm span and height for the sample of 12 seniors. You will note that in the scatter plot, we have a pretty tight linear grouping that's trending in a positive direction. Adding some context in, we would probably want to respond with a sentence similar to, the relationship between arm span and height is strong, positive, and linear. Remember, we want to have context, mention the strength of the relationship, the direction of the relationship, and that it's linear. For the next part of the problem, it says, let x represent the height in inches and let y represent arm span in inches. The two scatter plots of the same data are shown below. Graph 1 shows the data with the least squares regression line, y hat equals 11.74 plus 0.8247x. And the graph 2 shows the data with a line y equals x. The next part of the problem states that the criteria described in the table below can be used to classify people into one of three body shapes: square, tall rectangle, or short rectangle. You can see for square, it says that arm span is equal to height. For tall rectangle, arm span is less than height. And for short rectangle, arm span is greater than height. And it asks for which graph, 1 or 2, is the line helpful in classifying a student's body shape as square, tall, rectangle, or short rectangle? Explain. Here, we're not being asked to use height to predict arm span, but rather just to compare height and arm span to see which category they fall into. So graph 2 is the graph we're going to want to use. You'll notice that it breaks the scatter plot dots into these three groups for us. The dots above the line are short rectangles, since their arm span is greater than their height. Dots on the line will be square, and dots below the line have heights that are greater than their arm spans. The second part of this problem asks us to complete the table of classifications for the 12 seniors. So here we would count the dots on the line, so there'd be 3 square. There'd be 4 tall rectangle below the line and 5 short rectangle above the line. Part C of this problem asks us to use the best model for prediction to calculate the predicted arm span for a senior with height of 61 inches. So you'll recall from the previous part of the problem that they gave us an equation that y hat equals 11.74 plus 0.8247 times x, or times your height. So here we could just plug in 61 into this equation, and we would get a predicted arm span of 62.0467 inches. Notice that I put units on there. That's going to be really important for your answer. I hope you found this video helpful. I'll leave you with this quote by Ralph Marston. Thank you for joining us, and have a great day.